Hello Trash Pandas, just a quick one for you today. How to remove tires from aluminum rims for scrap aluminum. Now I have already gone through this one before, but it was a little long and windy and I feel like I can make it much more effective. So, 3 methods. The first one, my old favorite. This one requires 2 tools, a reciprocating saw, and an angle grinder with a cutting wheel. This is my favorite because it's effective on pretty much any size of tire. So, first up, set it up. We're going to want to slice across the tread to open it up. And then, we're going to slice a little opening so we can, on both sides, so we can kind of flap it open. After you've got access, it's just as simple as getting the cutting wheel in there and slicing through the bead. As soon as the sparks stop, you know you've gotten through the steel. It's a little bit stinky and it does require 2 power tools. It may not be the most efficient, but it always seems to work for me. The better the blades you've got, the easier it'll be, but for me, it's gotta be a corded angle grinder because they've just got more torque, higher amps. They get through the job a lot faster. I've used my cordless one and it's not the tool for the job. Now the second method comes from my friend Evan, and his method involves skipping slicing through the tread and just cutting a bit of a smiley face window through here. And then plunging the angle grinder into where the bead is. It's not that different, but it does save you having to cut through the tread. Now, I'd say it's a reasonably good method, but it does seem to rely on having a full-size cutting wheel, because if it's getting a little worn down, you're not going to have the right depth for that plunge cut, and you're not going to get it all the way through. Plus, it definitely makes it slightly more difficult to peel the rubber off afterwards. It's another method, maybe you'll find it just the thing. Now, this third and final method is a little more aggressive. It comes from my friend Ed. His system requires the angle grinder and maybe a pry bar. It's simply slicing straight through the bead from the edge of the rim. Just a simple plunge cut, straight down. Now I will say that was easily the fastest method, but it has downsides. Number one, it definitely chewed through the cutting wheel faster than any of the other methods, and also it relies on having a pretty much brand new cutting wheel because you need as much depth as possible, and then it's not going to work on every rim. It's definitely a lot easier on the back side, but on the front side, you might have a lot of different shapes and stuff that are competing and preventing you from getting the depth that you're going for. So those are all the methods that I've found. Now for me, I think I'm just going to keep doing it the way I have been doing it because it seems to be the most efficient use of the blades that I have around. And it's pretty fast. I wanted to just get into it from the start, so anybody who wanted the information, they've got it. But there are some other points to go over. Obviously, this destroys the rim. This is not a way to remove tires from rims if you want to keep using either of those parts. None of these ways are going to work like that. If that's something you want to do, well, the other 2 methods would be using a pair of bars to break the bead and pry it off. However, I've seen how lots of people get that done super fast, but for some reason, it just never seems to work out for me. I'm sure it's just a matter of practice, but for me it always ends up being a struggle, so that's why I go with these more destructive methods. And the other one, yes, you could go to Harbor Freight, we don't have those here in Canada, but something like that, and get one of those tire removal machines. And obviously that's going to be a lot better for not destroying the rim or the tire. But this video is to address the scrappers. Personally, I have no desire to get one of those things. It's a unitasker that takes up a large amount of space, and I know that might seem scandalous to say, but this is just not something that I do that often. So for me, two simple tools that I use for a ton of things works great for me. Oh, and I might as well point out, because I'm sure somebody's going to bring it up. Yes, obviously these are worth a lot more if you can sell them. You should only scrap them if they're not sellable at all. Like these ones, these classic... These are a classic rim, but the amount of... you know what? They're garbage. They're scrap. I've had a really hard time selling any rims in any condition, but I have found that right in the autumn seems to be the only time anybody calls for them. So if you have any other methods that work well for you, let me know in the comments down below, because I'm always happy to learn more about this. If this video was helpful, click the like button and subscribe for more tips and tricks on making money scrapping metal. Leave it better than you found it. Keep doing the thing.